We are talking about innovation. Innovation, if you are a designer or if you know about design, it's about having great ideas and making them into products that please people. And that's true, that's really the process. And when I was in school, they told me, you know, the way you do this is that a company gives you a brief, you follow the brief, and then you deliver your work to somebody that develops the product. Well, in my experience, and I collected here some images of projects of mine, the story is not exactly like that. Actually, in my experience, I had more briefs denied or changed than briefs respected. And I think that the right way to explain your relationship with your client, the company you work in, or your client if you are a consultant, is more of this type. You surprise them even more, you leave them speechless, then you need in some way to seduce them, to convince them that your ideas are good anyway, even if you left them speechless, and then of course the result you need to make them happy because they are your client, and you live out of there the work they do. So I collected some projects. So you are a designer, Seiko comes, very nice client, they come from Japan, they ask you to design watches and they are worried. It's the 90s and I don't know how many of you know about Swatch, but Swatch was very big in the 90s and Seiko was worried. They were saying we need something like Swatch. Swatch was cosmetically repainting the same watch over and over and over a million times, and Swatch came to us, and Seiko came to us asking us, can you design the 1 millionth kind of Swatch for us? We told them, no, that's wrong. We surprised them. And we told them, actually, we think you should do something very different. You should change something structurally. You should just flip the quadrant from being under the hands to be on top of them. And now they were speechless. You tell them that to do this, they need to develop a special material, a special glass. You tell them to do 3 layers of glass and put the graphics in it. And you explain them that if you do this, you have a kind of jewel because the surface of the shiny glass becomes very attractive and very nice. No watch has this, no other watch has ever done this. They believe in you and they put this in the market and they are happy. Then, well, this case, I don't have a client, I am in a company, I was working in Motorola, and Motorola was very worried because in 2000 Nokia passed them. Motorola invented the cell phone and Nokia became #1. How come? We have one product and it's black, I mean, what's wrong? When Nokia had a big differentiation through design, so Motorola put in place a new design organization. They asked me to work on advanced concepts, and we told Motorola, you should not follow Nokia. We don't do the same stuff. You are a technology company, you want design, but not to deny technology. We should combine them. And they were a little surprised and speechless. I took one Friday night an image of the old StarTech, I put it in a photocopier, reduced 82%, and then squished it to 5 millimeters. And I told the company, that's what you should do. And the company was speechless because it was looking very strange. Nobody wanted what became the razor. The company accepted to put it in production, kind of niche product. We sold 100 millions of them, and they were very happy. Another client comes, and they are a very strange type of client. It's 3M, and they ask you to develop a scourer, you call them, I mean something to clean dishes. And this time you are surprised because you don't think you should design things like this. But you think a little bit and you say, well, why not? We should do something. You tell them we should do something kind of very pleasurable with sensual shapes. And they are surprised and speechless. You tell them that to do this, we should use a special technique that is actually used to numeric control shape furniture, like the upholstered furniture, and in the end they put it in production and they are very happy. Then a strange company comes. They do hardware for furniture, you know, when you open cabinets and closets, and they do the hinges. And you are not sure that this is something very sexy, but they ask you to give a shape to their mechanism. You tell them, I don't like mechanism, I want to give the shape to something that becomes almost invisible inside a piece of furniture. They are speechless, and you design for them a soft cover. So when you open the piece of furniture, you see these very soft and elastic shapes. You develop it with silicone. They are happy, and then you discover that something that for them was what is called a B2B, a business-to-business business. I mean, they sell their hinges to furniture manufacturers, not to the final customer. But if you paint with different colors this strange piece of silicone that you use to cover the hinges, you open to them a consumer market, and that's what they do, and they are happy. Then an even stranger client comes to you. They do pasta. They are a food company, and they want to think about innovation in food. You tell them that maybe they should not only focus on pasta, but think to an ecosystem, something that you learned by working in Motorola earlier. And you tell them, why don't we think about a different system to distribute food? And you tell them that you can design food, also with an inspiration of molecular cuisine and so on. And so you design with them a kind of combination of appliances and food. That's one of the latest and strangest clients. It's an insurance company, and they ask you to think about the experience in connecting customers with agents. And today you have a computer in front of an agent and the back of the computer in front of your customer. That's not very nice. So you tell them that the real solution they need to solve is something that doesn't create a barrier. One has the power of having the information, and you never know what he tells you, because you know that he has something written on his screen. So they're a little bit surprised, and you tell them we should solve the problem of the connection between a human, a device, another device, and another human in the same place, something that in the best of the tablets they don't do very correctly. But then, since they were only surprised and not yet speechless, you tell them, actually, if you think about your future insurance, you should think about a world where cars may have fewer and fewer and maybe no accident. What's your business if cars self-brake? And that seems far out, but actually in the 1 year Volvo introduced the one SUV car that self-braked, at least at slow speed, the insurance claim rate of that car went down to the very minimum of all the other cars. So it's a true, it's a threat, a challenge to insurance. And so in order to leave them speechless and help them see their future, you tell them, actually, why don't you think into a world where cars speak to other cars and speak to a database, and almost self-autonomous cars could use something that only you, Allstate, have, that is the database of all accidents and all bad drivers. So you could move your business from acting after it's too late when the accident happened to prevent the accidents, and you have an advantage over everybody else because you can provide a different experience to the final user, driver, because you have the power of knowing who's bad driver and where the accident is. And so in the end, that's a way of doing innovation that on one side helps you actually put your products on the market, and on the other side helps you convince the clients that after all, your job is the one of provoking new thoughts, making them happy, and in the end making you happy because you're able to bring your creativity to the market. Thank you.